In this video, we'll walk through the steps and best practices for building a disco library. Let's open the library management area, select Create a new library, and give it a name. Since you can create multiple libraries, each one can host different content for different purposes and clients or audiences. Before adding content to a library, it is worth taking a bit of time to plan and prepare. You should apply tags to all the tracks that you want to add to the library. In case you are unfamiliar, disco track tags are managed in this categorized tag area, which is reflected on the library. These tags power the discovery and search process. You can add tags manually by searching and selecting, or utilize our auto tagger by dragging and dropping tracks or playlists over here. The tags should appear on the tracks within 5 minutes. Our auto tagging machine has been trained with sync-based vocabulary used by music supervisors to describe the sounds and moods in their creative briefs. The Library Content tab displays all your channels and their subfolders. Select the folders you'd like to add and click the Update Content button. Tracks inside the folders and playlists will appear on the Tracks tab and be discoverable on the library. The playlists inside the channels and subfolders have not been added to the library yet. Open the Playlist tab to search disco and add playlists to the library. They will populate the playlist area on the left-hand side of the library and be available to browse. The playlist menu has options to feature the playlist on the library homepage and edit the playlist artwork. Custom art really stands out, and you can even use GIFs. Just make sure your art adheres to the recommended dimensions. View and remove the featured playlists on this tab. The Tracks view shows every track on the library, regardless of whether they were added from playlists or channels. Select the tracks you'd like to feature on the homepage by checking the boxes to the right. View and remove featured tracks here. You can add numbers to reorder the tracks. Artist profiles are automatically created using the artist metadata field from the tracks in the library. Click the pen to customize artist profiles with a photo and bio. Feature artist profiles on the homepage by checking this box. Multiple related artist profiles can be combined. This is especially useful for a composer who works with many artists or where featured artists are listed across different tracks. Remember that new artist profiles are generated using the artist metadata field, so any variations generate new artist profiles. In this example, you can see 2am Orchestra, 2am Orchestra featuring Muse, and 2am Orchestra featuring Radiohead. We only want one profile for 2am Orchestra that combines all their tracks. To do that, edit the artist profile that you'd like to keep and open the Related Artists tab. Search and select the names of the related artists. We can see the extra tracks have been added on the Featured Tracks tab, and in the main artist area, the extra profiles have now disappeared. Now that we've covered the ways to add content, let's go over a few best practices. In some cases, you may want to publish your whole catalog. The fastest way to do this is to create a catalog channel, if you don't already have one, and select that on the Content tab. If you're curating libraries for specific purposes, we recommend that each library has a unique channel dedicated to storing its content. Inside that channel, create 2 folders, one called Tracks and the other called Playlists. The Tracks folder should contain tracks and playlists that you'll add to the library on the Content tab. Only the tracks from in there will actually be added to the library. Next, create new playlists specifically for each library and store them in the Playlists folder. These are the playlists that will be added via the Playlist tab. You'll still have to search their titles and add them individually. In general, if you plan to add and remove content regularly, I think it's best to exclusively add content via the Playlists tab instead of the Content tab. This makes adding and removing tracks in the future very simple. Just edit the playlists as per usual in the Playlist Creator, make your changes, and save. Moving on from content, let's look at the rest of the setup. The Contact tab includes fields to describe your company, add your contact details and website. The Design tab includes a banner image, a logo image, the library name, and a short library description. Make sure your description is accurate and relevant to your content. You do not want to mislead music supervisors, or they'll never come back. Add a custom color code for the buttons, text, and waveforms. In the settings, you can manage the visibility and access options when clients first arrive on the library. If you have Anyone Can View selected, this allows access to browse, stream, and search this particular library. There is no requirement to log in unless the guests attempt to favorite, create playlists, download, or save to disco. These actions will prompt them to request access or log in. If you select Login Required, this will display a blank login page when guests arrive. The next option is the Music Supervisor Browse opt-in. Vetted music supervisors have additional functionality to browse libraries. If you opt in, they have the ability to find your library and click through to it. The options above still apply, and they still have to request access to download, build playlists, and so on. The description included here is searchable when supervisors are browsing all the opted-in libraries in their feed. Make sure you're as specific as possible when you describe your library to help save them time. Notifications for access requests can be set below. Select your team members and how they should receive notifications. Notification emails arrive with a button to allow instant access. Similar to the playlist format settings, only optimized MP3s will be made available for download if this box is checked. I recommend unchecking it to allow your clients to access WAV and AV files without having to ask you. Your library can have a custom domain if you fill out this request form. It can take about a week to complete the setup and requires some technical assistance from your web domain manager. Each library must have a unique domain, and we may limit the number of libraries per Disco account that can have custom domains due to demand and processing time. We recommend that your library is fully functional before investing any time in trying to set up a custom domain. The Clients tab shows all pending access requests, invites, and approvals. Approve or deny access from the menu to the right, and send out invitations with this button. The Stats tab aggregates access analytics. Filter by a time period, view most accessed tracks, streams, track and playlist downloads, or switch over to the user view to see the most active users. Now that your library is set up, open the URL to preview it before publishing live. When you're ready, there is a toggle at the top of the screen to publish or unpublish the library. Libraries must be published before opting into the Music Supervisor browser or sending out any client invitations. That just about covers everything you need to know about building a Disco library. As always, please reach out to support via the in-app messenger if you hit any roadblocks during your build.